Morning girls and boys, Miss Kemp here. Today we are going to make our 3D shapes, which I have here, using Play-Doh. Now I have plasticine, so mine's a little harder than yours. You might see me having to work it a bit harder to shape it. Yours should be a lot easier to do with your Play-Doh. So what we've got, I have got our 5 shapes. What's that one? Cylinder. What's this one? It's got squares all the way around. Cube. This one, it's not the ball. We don't call it a ball, we call it a sphere. This one, it's a cone, eating my ice cream cone. And our last one, it's got those rectangles around the side. It's a rectangular prism, good job. So I have got my Play-Doh, I have created 5 chunks of it so that I can create my 5 shapes. I'm going to start off with the real easiest one, the sphere. So you've got your sphere there, or you might not have yours, sorry, I've got mine here. You're going to use your chunk of Play-Doh and we need to turn it into that sphere shape, so a bit like a ball. So I'm just going to put it in between my hands and I'm just going to roll it round and round. Now, as I'm rolling it around, you can see how it's going around my palm is how I'm rolling it. It's not sitting in the one spot. I'm rolling it around my palm. I can do it nice and fast. Turn it into that sphere shape. Now, you might be doing this at the exact same time as me, or you might just be watching this so you can go back and do it by yourself later. Either way is fine, it does not matter. I reckon that's pretty close to looking like a sphere. Do you reckon it looks like a sphere? I think so. So there we go. Got my sphere done. Next one I might have a go at. Might go for another one with that curved side. What's this one? It's a cylinder. So we're going to have a go at cylinder. I'm going to get another chunk of my dough, my Play-Doh. Well, plasticine I have. You can get your Play-Doh. Now this one, I'm going to roll it just up and down my palm so that it creates like a log. Nice and round on those sides because our cylinder has those curved sides. So I'm creating that part first, the curved sides. You can see I'm just rolling it up and down my hand. Then, once I've got those curved sides, not perfect, and that's okay, I could roll it across the desk to try and make it a bit more curved on those sides. That's a bit better. But one thing I've noticed is my top doesn't look very flat. Where on our cylinder here, we got a very flat top and bottom. So I'm just going to softly push it against the ground. Sorry, not the ground, the desk, or wherever you're sitting. It's going to get a lot flatter, much flatter. Do the bottom as well. Now when we do this, we might need to fix that curved edge a bit. So I'm going to roll it just one more time across the desk. Fix the bottom, fix the top, roll it one more time. And there is my cylinder. It's a lot taller and skinnier, but it is still a cylinder. It has those curved edges, curved faces, and a nice flat face at the top and bottom. Okay, there's my cylinder, all done. So far we've done cylinder and sphere. Ooh, they look pretty cool. Next one, I reckon I'm going to go for my rectangular prism. Now to do this one, I've got a nice big chunk here. I need to somehow create it into a square shape. Well, sorry, not a square shape. Miss Kemp's wrong. Into a rectangular shape. So it needs to be long and skinny on the edges, but the top and bottom are going to have squares. So let's see how we go with that. I might turn it into a bit of a cylinder shape to start. Roll it a bit. And then, if I push it really hard down, I can create a very flat side. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. So you only want 4 sides, so don't do this more than 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, look at that. It's looking a bit flat. It's not perfect, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now my ends, just like I did with my cylinder, I've got to flatten them to squares. So I'm going to do what I did with the cylinder and bang it on the desk. And because I may have wrecked my sides a bit while doing that, I'm going to fix my sides again. Just going to move this camera a bit. There we go. I'm going to fix my sides. And I reckon that's looking pretty close to my rectangular prism. Got my squares on the top and bottom, and I've got 4 rectangular sides. Do you guys reckon it looks a lot like our rectangular prism? Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty good. We've done our rectangular prism, our cylinder, and our sphere. 2 to go. If I'm going too fast for you, that's okay. You can just stop and watch the rest of the video, and you can catch up after the video. Okay, I'm just helping you to show how I did it. The next one I'm going to create is this one. A cube. So we're going to create this cube now. I'm leaving the hard one for last, if you can remember what our 5th shape is. Now I'm going to do exactly what I did with the rectangular prism, create my 4 sides. But this time I don't want those rectangular sides. I want it to look a lot more like a square. So I'm just using my fingers here, and I'm creating those square sides just in between my 2 fingers at the top of my thumb, and same on this hand, 2 fingers and thumb. And I'm just creating those sides so it kind of looks starting to look like a square, but it's not perfect. So it's looking a bit more like that cube. Got those square sides. Now is when I get to bang it on the table and make them nice and flat. Okay, turned it into that cube. It's looking pretty good. Pretty proud of this one. It's looking pretty good for a cube. Just got to bang it a few more times to make it look perfect. Best I can. You ready? There's my cube. I reckon that looks a lot like a cube. It's got its square sides. Every side is nearly the same. I know it's not perfect. Okay, we can't make perfect with Play-Doh. So we try our best to do as close as we can. So we got cube, rectangular prism, cylinder, and sphere. Whoop! Runaway sphere. We've done 4 shapes. Our final shape is our, what is it? Cone. Now this one I think is going to be the trickiest. Well, I think it might be the trickiest. You might find this really easy. We'll find out in a moment. Now, we've somehow got to have that circle bottom that goes curved all the way to that tip, that point at the top. This could be tricky. This is my first time doing this one, so it might take me a bit to get it. I reckon I might try and create a circle bottom. Oh, I might turn it all into a cylinder. Go for a bit of a cylinder shape to get that circle bottom. Keep going. Whoops. Camera keeps falling on me. There we go. Getting a bit of that circle shape down the bottom by creating that cylinder. Okay, looks a lot like a cylinder. I now need to turn this all the way up to a tip. So I reckon I'm just going to gently squeeze it. You want to squeeze this end tighter because this is the end you want to come all the way to a tip. So if you just gently squeeze it, trying to turn it into that tip. Create that circular bottom again. Oh, it's looking okay. I don't mind it. It's a bit tricky, this one, a cone. Oh, it's a very, very skinny cone down the bottom, but it goes up to a bit of a tip. Not a nice sharp tip. Bit hard to make a sharp tip with Play-Doh. There we go. Do you reckon that looks like my cone? Circle bottom, curved side all the way up to a tip. I reckon it's pretty close. We have our cone, our cube, our rectangular prism. What do we call this one? Cylinder. And our last one, what's the official word for it? Not the word we like to call it in the playground. It is a sphere, the tricky word. So there we go. We have created our 5 shapes using Play-Doh. I'm going to give you a closer look at them. I'm going to turn my camera around if I can. I don't think I can. Okay, there we go. There's our cones. There's our cubes, rectangular prisms, cylinders, and spheres. Now, if you didn't create them at the same time as me, it is time for you to go and create them. If you did, but you think, I need to fix some of them, go ahead and fix them now. And then what I'd love to see is if you get your home teacher, so mum or dad or grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, whoever's teaching you today, if you get them to take a photo of your 3D shapes and send them to your teacher on Class Dojo, that would be amazing. Good luck, girls and boys, and I'll see you next maths lesson.